Hello, welcome to Rara Avis Entertainment. My name is Amanda and I'm the creative director. I'm excited to be talking to you, especially if you're just new to the brand. So Rara Avis simply means the only one of its kind, and of course it means that we cater to the very unique individuals and creatives. So we're not restricted to musicians. It cuts across, every industry within the entertainment industry. So whether you're a model, producer, anyone at all, so long as you're a debutant and an independent creative, we are the people to come to, because we are your creative career strategist platform where we help you build a career. Now, I've seen a mistake that so many creatives make, because creativity oftentimes seems or appears like it's structureless. And yes, you need some freedom to create, because if you don't have that freedom, ideas will not come. But what's your process or your structure for filtering out the wrong ideas? Because I'm not a subscriber to the fact, or to the quotes, be you and all of that, because you could actually have wrong thinking, negative patterns. And so if you're just doing you or being you, then it could cost you a whole lot. But of course, being you right can be something that we talk about. And that's why at Rara Avis, we believe that you should grow yourself, and our motto or our slogan is grow your own wings, which also relates with our logo, which is a butterfly. It's a 3/4 butterfly, meaning that it's not yet finished. Because if you're conversant with what the butterfly signifies, you know that we're talking about metamorphosis from the caterpillar stage on all of those stages till we get to the butterfly. And we believe that you can grow your wings, and you can now trust your wings after you've grown them. So that's why we're talking about coming to us. So like I've said in several videos, I don't know if you haven't heard them, but I might just repeat somewhat of the things that I've said. So if you're just starting out as a debutant, you don't want to enter into the industry with a wrong outlook and looking like a dummy. You want to go there even though you're new, acting like you're old or that you belong in this business. A lot of people focus so much on the show and they forget that it's show biz. They go hand in hand. Okay, so whether you're even just an artist who's not so conversant with how the workings are for musicians, we still have strategies for you. Now, the strategies are not just words we throw out there like motivational speakers. No, they are customizable. We have the general words and development, but it's preferable that you come to us for the customized one. And trust me, it's not what you're thinking. It's not like some luxury or like phony talk. No, nah. What we're all about here is seeing you grow, because we know that it also adds to our resume when you win. So you win, we win. Okay, so when you're just starting out as a creative, you need to understand your persona, because at this stage most record labels or management companies would not want to deal with you, and it's not their fault to some extent, because most of you don't even understand what it entails to be within this sector. Some of you just dream because you're talented. The fact that you're talented doesn't mean that you fit into the industry. And so when we select creatives into our space, we like to deal with multi-talented creatives, but that doesn't mean that we can't work with you even if it's just one creative skill you've got. All I know is that hard work beats talent most of the time, because hard work also involves consistency. And by hard work, I don't mean like labor. I mean putting in the necessary work to stay focused and develop your craft. Because one thing we found out is that a lot of newbies are not ready for to face the reality that there's competition out there, because sometimes you're faced with your friends and families and your small clique who hypes you and tells you, oh wow, you're the best. And of course we can see the potential, but that doesn't mean you're ready for the stage. We're talking about you asking people to spend their hard-earned money on you. How ready are you for this? Because sometimes, creatives don't want to pay for it, or you just think that their talent is enough. Talent is not enough. I repeat, talent is not enough. That's why you sometimes see people who are not as talented as others going further, because they've done their groundwork and they've done their work offline too. I'm a believer in one-on-one marketing more than just even saying all of that on social media, because people can see you on social media and they feel detached from your brand. Now, if you're just starting out, it's best you come to people like us so that you do not make mistakes, and you also avoid all the stories that touch the heart, of people's escapades in the industry, how they were duped and what not, all manner of activities. And it was because you did not know what to do. And that means you fell into the wrong hands, because once they see you, they know you're a novice. But trust me, with our tips, once they see you, even though they know you're new, they know you're going somewhere. That's the difference. And what is the difference? Knowledge empowers you. And of course, knowledge with strategy places you far above all other competitors. Because first you have to treat yourself as a brand. When you treat yourself as a brand or as a company, then you stop neglecting yourself in areas that you ought to sit up in. And if you can ask yourself, questions without like mincing words, being harsh on yourself, stripping yourself of everything, then trust me, you're going to get the right answer. And now when you come to us, we have service providers to help you through every stage. So you're not alone. And even if you have to spend money, it will be worth your while, because we only deal with the world-class service, the best of the world-class service providers. And I don't mean that they have to have to be popular names. No, you don't at this stage need a popular name. I said what I said. Yes, you don't at this stage need a popular name, because most popular names, in terms of, for example, if we're talking about a producer, they deal with bigger names too. So they do not have the patience to grow with you. And you can't blame them, because they're dealing with big names, accomplished, creatives who know exactly what to do, because they've made their mistakes in the past, which you're just still making. And now when you come to us, first we're going to look at areas of your artistry and to understand where you fit into, because some of you have misdiagnosed yourselves. Yes, some of you are struggling in sectors that you do not belong to. Because some of you ought to be singing folk law songs, because there's a market for you. It's just that you do not know what you have. And of course, we turn down some certain individuals because we know that they have overestimated their capacity or their abilities, and they don't have the right mindset to work on it. Because it's one thing to know that you have a flaw and you accept it, then know how to correct it, or and there's a difference in you arguing even when you can see that you're doing the wrong thing. So we do not want to deal with people like that. We believe that there's a market for you, and if you succeed without us, great. It's great. Now let's come to what you as a new creative needs. Your creative needs, especially if you're a musician, is one, if you're stepping into the industry, you need to create your persona. There's a difference between your private persona and your public persona. You also need to understand your brand, where you want to take it, what your brand is, how are you branding yourself? Because sometimes you don't know that you're giving off a vibe that you might not even want or even think is your vibe. Okay, so here we coach you and strategize on what you can add and what you can subtract, from that. Then of course there's the preparatory stage where you have to deal with, like an A&R session. We listen to your product, which might just be your music or whatever you're selling as a creative, and we properly assess you and know where it should fit into. So if you ought to be in, maybe this song ought to be in sync and this and that, we know exactly how, to advise you and how you can strategize to get where you want to be. Because trust me, you want to be able to self-manage yourself so that when you get management or interest, you know exactly who fits into your brand, and you are not a novice and you don't fall victim, like into funny schemes, signing deals that you had no business signing initially. Okay, now we're talking about artist development, because let's take for example, because I'm not going to be talking like on specific topics, because we want you to come to us, because it's the only way this would really work is if it's customizable, if it work, like we are able to apply it to you. For example, with your clothes, you cannot just go wear anybody's dress. Of course, there are some clothes that are one size fit all, but if you actually want to stand out, it has to be unique. And that's what we are. We are Rara Avis, unique. So we want you to stand out from the crowd, and that's why we're recommending that you come to us. So for example, take performance. So many artists don't know how, like musicians in this sense, don't know how to perform. Perhaps you're on stage. How do you manage the space? How do you get from point A to point B? And when you get to point B, what do you do? How do you engage with the crowd? How do you engage? And if your performance doesn't go well, what can you do about it, even right there on the spot? I'm not even talking about picking yourself up, because it might have pushed you out of, maybe told you to get off from the stage, but what can you do within the crowd? Because right now perhaps everyone's attention is still on you because you made errors. So how do you rectify this? And this is why we don't advise that when you're not ready, you should go out and start performing. We do not subscribe to that. In fact, I'm a great believer in restraining people from performing before they're ready to perform. And that's why we developed a creative development, program that helps you to understand yourself and track yourself and develop your craft. And in it we have programs like media training, because some of you don't know how to answer questions, some of you don't know what to do when you're standing in front of the camera, and here we can train you. These are some of the things that people on the record labels, proper record labels, do, and they get to enjoy because they're signed to the management. And yeah, this is why we don't, encourage people to go out there, because sometimes you might have the opportunity. Some of you don't even necessarily need the connections or network because you have them around you. But the problem is that sometimes you might have been given the opportunity and you messed up, or the people around you don't believe in you, maybe because of the way your brand has been built. And that's why you need us to help you reconstruct your brand. So once people see you, trust me, they'll see the difference. When I say you need artistry like development, of course you need A&R sessions, and we have, we can organize event sessions, we can organize listening parties, we can even cover your album launch, like your debut, launch, whatever you're doing, so long as it's, within the scope of artistry, and of course that you're a new creative. We don't deal with popular superstars like on this platform. Yes, I personally might deal with them, but for Rara Avis, that's not our focus. In fact, when we deal with those ones, the popular figures like on Rara Avis, we deal with them in the sense that they interact with you and network, and we have what we call our stories exchange program and much more. Okay, so there's a whole lot more like to talk about, but I don't want to focus so much on all of this because it can be tiring and boring. But trust me, there's a whole lot that you can do. We have the right producers those that are patient enough to listen to what you have to say and all of that. We have the right training, we have the right platform to even showcase you while you're developing your talent. And when you're ready, then of course we can recommend you to platforms where you can perform and even get paid. Yes, even as an upcoming, like people have to say, I don't believe in upcoming, but because a tree is a fruit is a fruit regardless of whatever state it is in. But of course we know you have to develop. You can't become an elephant if you're a human baby. Okay, so it doesn't go that way. You can only become who you actually are. Like, we have to sift the negative potential and bring out or harness the positive ones. So stick with us. Follow us across all social media platforms at Rara Avis Entertainment. We've managed to keep the same name, and of course on our website www.raraavisentertainment.com. You can click on it to see more about what we offer. Trust me, you're going to see a whole lot there. Okay, we're not playing. And of course you can, like I said, you can call or DM, but preferably WhatsApp or DMs. Trust me, we would respond to you. Okay, especially if you're well versed and you're coaching your words properly, okay, and you tell us exactly what you need. We don't want time wasters in our DMs sending us lots of messages and having to waste our time and stress. No, we want results, and so do you, because when you win, we win too. Okay guys, bye.